Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I have a huge announcement to make right here, right now. So, my announcement is basically relating to my business, and I'm making a few changes from that. I also want to take you through my thought process regarding those changes and just be a little bit more open and real and honest with you guys, with where I'm at, with how I'm feeling about it, with why I'm choosing this route and why right now. So let's go ahead, get right into it. Okay, so I have made the decision to change my prices. I know I just put out all of my kind of marketing recently of my prices, of my disclaimer, of my services and my hours and such. A lot of that is still staying the same. My hours are shifting a little bit slightly, but I'm also changing my prices. So basically, the prices are being dropped a lot. Okay. And I know if you're an entrepreneur or if you're somebody watching this who's kind of working in the world of Reiki, who's working in the world of readings, who's kind of even like working as an entrepreneur, you're probably questioning like, why are you doing that? Trust me, I did have a little bit of that kind of resistance and thought process too. I had to really be real and honest with myself about this, but ultimately, how I'm feeling and trusting my heart in this and trusting the guidance that I'm receiving on this is, it feels really good and it feels really pure. So I'm moving in that direction. Okay, so my prices before, actually, you know what? Let me get into the thought process of why, and then I'm going to give you the price rundown at the end, okay? So stay tuned. So I have been reading this book. It is called Weavers of Light, and this is basically a book channeled. Let me just read you the back, actually. It's a manual on conscious living. Weavers of Light outlines how we create our collective realities according to our belief structures and imprints. It shows us how we have been creating these realities since the beginning of life on Earth and how this has evolved into the complexities in which we currently live. It offers insights and understandings as well as very concrete tools for changing our conscious belief structures as individuals and thereby changing the collective social realities that we have been manifesting on the Earth, our beloved teacher. And then I think it's like an excerpt or like a piece from the book written here. I'm going to read it for you. You are all children of the creators, and you are all given the same access. What you believe and perceive of yourself and your relationship with creation is what you weave into your realities. This is a time of great opportunity that has not been here for a long time. You can take this opportunity and make that leap in consciousness that is required to bring all of Earth to a state of grace. It is not meant that only a few masters benefit from the magic of the land or the skies. It is meant as a birthright for all souls. This book was channeled from a group of souls known as the Council of Elders, Record Keepers, or Ancient Ones. This collective group has been providing guidance and assistance to humankind for thousands of years, and they continue to bring fresh insights and understandings as we expand our consciousness, our conscious ability to comprehend. As our soul evolution continues, we are now ready to understand new concepts of reality and are willing to take further responsibility for our co-creation here. When the students are ready, ... So I was sitting in my car one day and I was reading this book, and I'm near the end of the book, like this far. This is all that I've read. This is how much I have to go. This chapter is called Scattered Light, and I want to read this for you guys right here, right now. And I invite you to just kind of be present with these words and really feel the message behind these words. Just feel what's here, okay? Within these words that I'm about to read for you. I'm only going to read a little bit of this. I'm not going to read the whole thing. So, scattered light. Here in the physical expression, as it is manifested on Earth, each soul has choice. As we have spoken of so far in our story here, all of these choices are manifest upon Earth, and where each soul puts their consciousness, where each soul puts their light, is a manifestation that happens on Earth. When there are a multitude of choices to be made in each situation, most people get into a place or a mindset that tells them whatever choice they make, they're going to be winners and losers. The mindset that says, if I make this choice, that loses. If I make that choice, this loses, has created a lot of problems on Earth. It has created a polarization of ideas rather than an inclusiveness of ideas. The idea that one chooses to bring into expression needs to be seen in its entirety. Every idea and every way does encompass everything else, and one has to look further in to see this. Whenever you make a choice of going in a direction, for example, going to the left, that encompasses direction to the right, and it's very polarization. When you realize this, you realize that every choice you make is going to encompass all. But where you put your light is how it becomes manifested. The idea of denying one idea in favor of another has created a lot of polarization of light on this planet. And when you polarize your light in that way, you will also be creating the opposite of what your intent is. As an example, say someone needs to make a choice between 4 different colors. When they choose which color to put their focus on, which color to use, the other colors are still going to be within that. But when choosing one color and denying all the other ones, you're actually putting your light into the other ones as well. To put this into a physical life experience, imagine yourself being a parent to a number of children. Some of those children require a lot of your attention and energy. Some do not seem to need as much attention or energy, and one of those children is born physically handicapped, needing constant attention. How do you divide yourself between all of those children, all of those choices? Where do you put your light and energy? Where are you going to give the most? Most people will find that they will deny one in favor of the other, either overtly or secretly. Some will find that they will guilt themselves into trying to give equal distribution between all. But very rarely will you find someone who is in a state of balance enough to be able to give what they really feel to each one. Rarely will you find someone who can find this balance within themselves. This can explain quite a bit of what happened at the beginning of creation, where guilt got the upper hand. This is where the voices that tell you what should be get the upper hand, and then creation does not get the balance that it seeks. But when you make choice A by trying to exclude choice B, you're dividing your own light. When your conscious light goes with choice A and your denied light will go with choice B because you feel guilty, choice B will still be empowered. But it will be empowered in a state of denial. When someone makes a moral choice that they will do one act because they judge the other act to be wrong, their strong judgment of that act will empower it to manifest. And then if you fast forward a little bit into the chapter a little bit more, I just want to read the next part that kind of got my mind thinking relating to my business and my choice, my conscious choice moving forward. Okay, so it says, I am bringing this forward so that there's no misunderstanding where I am speaking about the fact that you have a choice of where to put your focused energy. And that is how you manifest your life. Now, I do not want people to misunderstand and think that they can deny one choice in favor of another and create whatever reality they want through denial, for it does not work. You have to include everything you want to and be able to move the whole circle in a positive direction for everyone. When your life is in harmony and balance, it is good for everyone with whom you are in touch, and it is inclusive of everybody. I just want to read a little mini part because I'm seeing white light energy around it. Okay, so talking about abstinence. Abstinence. The choice to have a sexual affair with someone or to stay abstinent could be looked at as choice A or choice B. And choosing choice A as the moral or right way because of guilt or your belief systems, you force yourself to making this choice out of your own judgments. By denying the other choice and judging it as wrong or bad, your thoughts will haunt you and they will keep running to choice B. Lust will grow bigger and bigger. You will see it everywhere you look at, every person you see, because it is fueled by your denial of that choice. So when I was reading all of that for the very first time, I was sitting there thinking to myself, you know, my current prices, I have $140 for my distance Reiki session, and then I have $65, $55, and $40 for my 3 sets, my 3 categories of readings that I'm offering. And, you know, I can change my price anywhere that I want to, right? Like I could change it to $200 an hour for distance Reiki sessions. I was actually told by someone before that I could charge $800 an hour for the distance sessions. And being really real and being really honest, I want to include more people in this. I want this to be more accessible to people because I just believe in this so much, and I feel like Reiki has been or could have been one of those things that have been overlooked. However, from my personal perception and life experience of the last 4 years, 4.5 years, maybe 5 years of doing this, I feel like words can't really measure how impressive, how powerful, how incredible, how accurate Reiki is every single time. It has helped me personally in some of my darkest times. It has helped me just in ways that I couldn't. So clearly, you can see that I'm very passionate about this, and I'm very passionate about this because I've seen the power of it. And I'm honored and grateful that, for those of you who don't know, Reiki came to me in a dream from my spirit guides. And for those of you who don't know, I do channel spirit. I do work with spirit. I have been working with spirit since my preteen years, but more consciously since 16 and onwards to currently. Starting with sensing energy and then seeing energy, seeing spirit, sometimes smelling. That's a thing where you can actually smell. I have smelt traditional medicines, cultural medicines like Indian tobacco and sage when it hasn't been burnt, and I know that has been my ancestors there. And yeah, so I've been working with spirit for like quite a while, and just I've grown such a beautiful, loving and trusting relationship, harmonious relationship with my inner being, which is higher self, and my spirit guides and my ancestors. And it's interesting because I think on the back of this book, when I was reading it earlier, the Council of Elders also goes by the Ancient Ones, and that's a group that I have also connected with recently through various channelings and various like messages that really wanted to come through right from them. So I believe that this is something that we all have access to. Again, talking about that inclusive part, we are all children of the creators. If I can do it, you can do it. If you want to do it, if it's something that you are called to do it, if you really want to do it, you can do it, No one is better than the next. We are just moving from our heart spaces, I believe. Sometimes doing the best that we can, and sometimes really just moving from the heart and joy. And yeah, so when I received this message of Reiki from a dream, it was basically like a black segment, and the word heal came in from my left ear to my right ear, and I inquired in my dream state. I asked how. The message was Reiki, and then that segment ended, and it was the next segment and the next segment, and I woke up and I didn't know what it was back then. That was my first time being introduced to that concept. So then I just kind of researched it, and sure enough, a couple of weeks after, I met my teacher. She taught me Reiki, certified me for level 1, level 2, and my master's, and I've been doing it ever since. Again, like, all I can say is that Reiki is powerful. Reiki is pure. Reiki wisdom that flows. It's wisdom that flows, and it just has this incredible, I don't know, it has this incredible like exuberance to it where it does balance out your body. It helps with like relaxation, it balances energy. And I know like for some people this can sound really woo-woo. I mean, if you've made it this far knowing that like I'm channeling spirit and knowing that I received this during a dream, I'm sure that you're you know, you're still here for a reason. So I acknowledge that too. And yeah, it's just, it's energy. Energy is so pure in essence, and Reiki is one of those tools that can really simply but effectively meet that, to harmonize and balance energy. And it's just, it's interesting to see how when the energy in the body is balanced, things in life become balanced. It's just, it's amazing. So I'm not, you know, I do have a disclaimer up, and I do encourage you to go and check that out. It's on my bubble on my front page. I think it is like separate in disclaimer as well as services. But, you know, I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm not saying like it is like a prescription or it is like a cure or it's like a, you know, that's not my forte. That's not my take to this, my side to this. My take to this is like, this is purely energy work. This is purely energy balancing. And it's in the experience that I've had, the real and honest life experience, in what I've seen in my own life, in my own body with Reiki, and just what I've seen with clients, what I've seen with loved ones. It's not to be underestimated. It's really powerful. It's really simple. It's 100% safe. It's loving. It's pure love. It's pure love. And I'm honestly so grateful. Like, I live in gratitude when I'm in that state of just being able to connect with whoever it is that I'm connecting with in this like time and space, where it's the Reiki session itself, and being able to witness what happens and hold space for that. It's incredible. So I believe in this. I know that this is powerful. I know that this, it's really incredible. It's really powerful. I really believe in this, and I want this to be more accessible to people. After reading this book, my thought process was, okay, you know, I could charge different prices for my business. I could charge different prices for Reiki sessions that I offer, but truthfully, I see the hierarchy in our societal structures, especially in the Western world, how a lot of people, a lot of us want to get to the top of whatever that top is, you know, when we have the money, when we have this, when we have da 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 da. But what about all of the other people? Like, what about all of the other people? And that word inclusion to me really, it's just like, it's in my heart. It's in my heart. So I just want to pretty much cut my prices in half. Actually, my Reiki price is a little bit less than half. And yeah, just lower the prices, because Reiki, working with spirit, working with Reiki, and working with light in this way, there's something to it. And again, being able to include people in that circle, being able to see people and recognize, hey, you're a child of the Creator too. Hey, you're a child of the Creator too. Hey, you're a child of the Creator too. Hey, have you heard about this? You know, I've been experienced with it. It's kind of come into my life, and I'd like to share it with you, you know? So being more inclusive of people and lowering my price is why, probably like the main reason why I'm choosing to go in this direction, okay? And I don't know, I don't know like what the future holds. I only know what I feel right now and where I'm at in my mental process currently, and I trust it. I trust my heart. I trust what I'm feeling. I trust the guidance that I'm receiving on this. I had a meditation today and this came through. So I trust it. I always follow my heart. I always follow my guidance, and I trust that. I trust that harmony, and I trust that. And I also was thinking about this too, because I was talking with a friend about this the other day. I think that also diving like a little bit deeper into this word of inclusion, into this idea of inclusion, into like my even whole reasoning with changing my prices is I believe it's time for humanity to come together again. And I acknowledge, throughout this pandemic that there have been significant job losses and financial constraints. And I know that when finances, when you're worried about finances and stuff, that can be an effect to mental health and your thought processes and just where you're sitting too. So I acknowledge that aspect too, right? And just, acknowledging like how I'm feeling, acknowledging just kind of looking at like the whole aspect of this from as many different standpoints as I can, and really being real in my heart about it, and really being, thinking about it over the last like couple of weeks and just kind of feeling it out. I do stand by this decision, because I do stand by a new direction for humanity. That's more inclusive, that's essentially a space where we can come together, being able to know that we are safe to express who we really are, being acknowledged for who we really are. That's a huge thing for me, and another huge aspect of why I'm choosing this. So, thank you for sticking around here. That's kind of my thought process in changing my prices, is to just have it be more accessible, because I really believe in this, and I really, really feel like people, I think it'd be incredible if everybody could experience this at least once. And I just want to step into this kind of new way where it is more inclusive for people. I feel like I was going to say something else there, and it'll come back if it wants to. So let's talk prices now. Let's get into the more logistical stuff here. Okay, so with prices changing, I do want to mention that my hours are going to be changing too. So previously, I believe it was, I wrote it down. It was Monday to Friday, 11 to 7, and then Saturday, 9 to 2 with Sunday off. But now I'm going to be switching the hours. It's going to be Monday and Sunday off. And then Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 7, Saturday, 9 to 2. Basically the same thing, but just, taking a day off essentially. And yeah, I'm still offering free 15-minute consultations. So if you don't really know what Reiki is, maybe I should do an FAQ. I want to do an FAQ video on that too, because I notice a pattern with a lot of people who want to try Reiki, but maybe they're a little bit hesitant on it. They want to try it, but they've got questions about it. It's their first experience. They've been doing research, but they just want a little bit more like, what are the frequent things? What can I expect in a Reiki session? What is Reiki? How does it work? What will happen to me? Will I feel anything? First of all, it is 100% safe. It's pure energy work. again, like I've been saying this whole video, it's very, very powerful. It's very impressive. It's just got a way with balancing stuff out. And you can also, by the way, you can get a Reiki session just to add to your well-being. It's not like, you know, it's not only like, you don't only have to think of it as, you know, when something like something that you don't prefer is happening in your life, right? Like if it's like something you're just going through and you want to go in for a Reiki session, which you still can, of course, do that too. But even if things are just going smoothly and you just want a Reiki session to add to that well-being that's already there, that's a thing too, which I also feel like, you know, can be a thing that can be more commonly talked about here. But yeah, so I'll do an FAQ video on that. If you guys do have any questions at all regarding Reiki or readings, feel free to DM me or email me at info@carlyvanevery.com. But yeah, I'll get around to a video on that too, because I know that's like a huge, there's a lot of questions about that people want answers to. But yeah, free 15-minute consultation if you kind of want to talk with me on this, jam with me on this, have some questions for your own, or just even want to get to know me more and my background and why I do this, have some questions for me, feel free to reach out, feel free to email me, and we'll work that out. We'll make that happen. So my new prices, my 1-hour distance Reiki session was $140. I am changing it to $65. My 30 to 45 minute intuitive energy read, which encompasses kind of the energies that are around you right now, and then if there's any messages from any like of my guides, my spirit guides, my higher self, or any other beings of love and light that want to come through. Sometimes there's passed on loved ones, your ancestors that come through too. Whatever, it's very intuitive, but it's very like what needs to be acknowledged right now. What's the energy of what needs to be acknowledged right now, okay? So that's there. From $65, I'm changing that price to $35. A 30 to 45 minute what's next energy read. So kind of similar to the intuitive energy read. The only difference is that it's kind of like with the current energy that's around you, what are kind of the more probable next steps, or the more probable thing kind of on your path, okay? That's for you. And again, any, you know, if there are any like messages that do need to be acknowledged, they will be acknowledged there. So that's from $55. I'm changing that to $25. And then the 20 to 30 minute one question read. So if you just want to, you know, this is good for if you just want to kind of get like a little introduction to me and my style and how I read, or if you've never tried a reading before and you're like, oh, I just want to try it and I just want to see what it's all about. That's really good too. So that's a 20 to 30 minute one question read, and that will be $20 from a $40 standpoint. I'm changing it to $20. Okay. By the way, all of the readings are done live on Zoom. So it'll be like me and you on a camera, one-on-one, just really going and seeing what's there. And then the distance Reiki session, okay? So Reiki typically would be like in person. It would be me with you in session, like beside each other, essentially, okay? Distance Reiki session is done through use of energetically attuned ancient symbols that are able to kind of surpass time and space to allow this energy to be sent anywhere in the world at any time, okay? So yes, if someone is in Australia right now and they wanted a distance Reiki session with me, that can be done. That can definitely be done, okay? It doesn't matter where you are in the world. It's 100% safe. It's still 100% accurate, and it's like, let me just share this. The first time that I ever did a distance Reiki session for somebody, because one of the things with this is you have to ask on a soul level, and it's complete respect. If the answer is no, then there's a reason for that, okay? And it's not like it's not like good or bad, it's just the timing and the process of things, right? But Yeah, so the first time I ever did a distance Reiki session was actually with my grandma, and I remember I asked her on a soul level, I was like, may I? And the answer was yes, and I got like the doors flung open. It was very loud and clear. And I remember feeling certain things in that session. You know, confidentiality and respect, I'm not going to say it here, but I remember feeling very specific things in that session, and I was like, that's interesting. And later on, I actually ended up calling her and asking her, you know, like, how did you feel on this specific date? Because that was the day that I had sent the distance Reiki to her. And she said, oh, she's like, you know what? She's like, it's really interesting because that day, she's like, I don't know why, but I actually like, I jumped out of bed and I had so much energy and I was able to move and I was able to like clean my house and do so many things. And she's like, it was so random. She's like, it was just like this burst of energy. And she's like, I had a really good day that day. And I ended up telling her, you know, Grandma, like I sent you distance Reiki that day, but you know, it was on a soul level. Like you gave me access to that. So thank you. And, she's like, oh, she's like, wow, she's like, thank you. And we just ended up talking from there, like kind of about what I was perceiving in that session too, and how she felt and how she could relate to that too. It was really sweet. So yeah, distance Reiki is a thing, and basically how I work as a practitioner, when you book a distance Reiki session with me, it'll basically be kind of like the same as the readings, where it'll be live on Zoom. We'll just kind of go in and I just ask you to just, you know, get yourself relaxed. You can sit, you can lie down, but it's in real time. And if you're open to the messages that come through, because for me, how I work as a practitioner, I start seeing energy and I start seeing the chakras and I start like seeing things moving. And sometimes there's like stories, pictures, things that kind of come through from, oh, it could be, you know, this is the thing. It could be like it could be angels, it could be ancestors, it could be your passed on loved ones, it could be other beings that are in this universe that are of only unconditional love and light, that have really something to share, right? So that's how I personally work. That's the other thing. A lot of practitioners work very differently too, and that's totally okay. We all, you know, I think it's beautiful because it's like you get to see the harmony really come together, and you get to see the magic really spark with like how practitioners work, and it's beautiful. It's amazing. So yeah, with me, it would be a live Zoom session, kind of one-on-one for about 45 minutes. And then we do a quick 15-minute debrief after, if you're open to that, kind of about like the things that I was seeing, what I was picking up on, messages that kind of came through, and what's kind of happening energetically within each of the chakras, and just any other areas that maybe want to be acknowledged too. So it's really beautiful. I love it. So yeah, so that's kind of how that works. Again, free 15-minute consultations. So you can just email me and we'll figure out a time for that too. If you do have any questions or any FAQs, just feel free to send me a DM on Instagram, or you can email too. That's perfectly okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give you guys that little announcement, that little update, and kind of share my reasoning behind that. Mainly to be more inclusive, and mainly because I'm ready to, and I'm wanting to connect with more people and just move in this way for that inclusion. And it's time for humanity to come into harmony again. And this step that I'm taking feels really, really good. And I feel really secure in this step. So I'm really excited. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you just for holding space and watching this video. And if you do want to book a distance Reiki session with me and or a personal reading, that is at the link in my bio. If you go to Linktree and go to my website, it's there. If you do want to watch free readings that I offer on YouTube, that is there as well. I did have a Gemini new moon energy reading, which I'm really excited about that. That's a collective energy update for all of us with energies relating to this new moon on June the 10th. And so that's there as well. I'm uploading YouTube videos every single day too. And that's a side thing, but that's also like something else that I'm just really excited about, and I'm just really, really passionate about as well. So yeah, you know, if you guys do want to check out the readings there, just to kind of get a feel, it's there. Email me if you do want to reach out and have a consultation. And the prices have been changed and the hours have been updated. So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing how this journey unwinds from here, and to connecting with many, many more people, and having this really, really incredible tool, this really powerful and incredible tool get out there more, be more accessed. So yeah, so thank you everybody. Thank you for being here. I acknowledge you. I hope that wherever you are, whatever time of day you are seeing this, that you are just feeling so loved, so supported, and so seen. And you are so important and vital to this planet, to humanity, to all of creation. And I just really hope that whatever's in your heart space, you really get to feel that and really get to live in that and invigorate yourself in that today. So yeah, we'll chat soon. Thank you guys for being here. See ya.